Hello and welcome to Conquering Alba, where we take you to the historical places that helped make Scotland what it is today. Today we're just outside of Edinburgh as we visit Edinburgh's other castle, Craigmillar Castle. Craigmillar Castle is a ruined medieval castle on the south side of Edinburgh in the modern suburb of Craigmillar. The castle belonged to the Preston family of Craigmillar, the local feudal barons. They began work on the castle in the late 14th century and building works continued through the 15th and 16th centuries. Then in 1660, the castle was sold to Sir John Gilmore, Lord President of the Court of Session, who breathed new life into the ageing castle. The Gilmores left Craigmillar in the 18th century for a more modern residence at nearby Inch House, and the castle fell into ruin. The lands of Craigmillar were granted to the monks of Dunfermline Abbey by King David I in the 12th century. The Preston family were the first granted land in the area by King David II in 1342 and held 2/3 of the estate. Then, in a further grant of 1374, King Robert II gave the remaining lands of Craigmillar to Sir Simon de Preston, Sheriff of Midlothian. It was Simon's son, Simon Preston, or his grandson, Sir George Preston, who began work on the tower house which now forms the core of the castle. Mary, Queen of Scotland, stayed here at Craigmillar Castle twice. In September 1563, she met with the English ambassador Thomas Randolph at the castle with the Earl of Moray and William Maitland. She stayed from the 20th of November to the 7th of December in 1566, still in poor health following a serious illness in October. During her stay, she gave an audience to a diplomat from Savoy, Jean, Count de Brienne, who had arrived for the baptism of Prince James. Mary is traditionally said to have slept in a small former kitchen within the Tower House, although it is more likely that she occupied larger accommodation in the relatively new East Range. Several of her noblemen were with her at Craigmillar in November 1566 and suggested to her that her unpopular husband, Henry Stuart Lord Darnley, could be removed, either by divorce or by other means. An agreement known as the Craigmillar Bond was signed by Mary's Secretary of State, William Maitland of Lethington, and several nobles including the Earls of Bothwell, Argyll and Huntly. The bond does not survive, but set out the conspirators' intent to remove Darnley. Although Mary made it clear that she was unhappy with Darnley, she was not part of the conspiracy and was probably unaware of the plot to kill her husband. It was initially intended that Darnley would lodge at Craigmillar when he returned to Edinburgh, although he opted to stay at the Kirkhoe Field in the town, where he was murdered on the 10th of February 1567. Lord Darnley was the owner of Crookston Castle, and we will put a link in the description of our video below. At the entrance of the castle there are a pair of yew trees. They are of considerable age with important historical connection to Craigmillar Castle. The trees were planted to create an entrance feature to the castle. They have an interesting twisting. Historically, they are believed to have provided wood for bows and arrows. The Edinburgh Council are working to promote these heritage trees to the people of Edinburgh and visitors. The castle was used for filming of the film Outlaw King and the TV series Outlander, where it acted as a setting for Adsmuir Prison. In the 16th century, during the so-called rough wooing of Henry VIII of England, the English attempted to impose, by military force, a marriage between Edward, Prince of Wales, and Mary, Queen of Scots. The castle was burnt by English troops under the Earl of Hertford on the 8th of May after he had sacked Edinburgh. Sir Simon Preston had the castle repaired, with domestic ranges in the courtyard being remodelled. Preston served as the Lord Provost of Edinburgh for several years and was a loyal supporter of Queen Mary, who appointed him to her Privy Council. As you can see from the top of Craigmillar Castle, you get some fantastic views of the south side of Edinburgh. You can also see Edinburgh Castle and the hills of Arthur's Seat. The views all around are truly remarkable.
gallery.
During the event known as the Marian Civil War, Captain Melville and two of his soldiers who fought for Mary Queen of Scots' cause were killed in the grounds of the castle on June the 2nd, 1571, when a barrel of gunpowder exploded. Then a year later, in 1572, Regent Mar used Craigmillar as a base while besieging Edinburgh Castle, which was held by supporters of the exiled Queen. The stable were built for a company of light horsemen. King James VI, son of Mary Queen of Scots, visited Craigmillar for himself when he was a guest of Sir David Preston in September 1589. James had been at Seaton Palace expecting the arrival of Anne of Denmark and came to Craigmillar still waiting for news of his bride. It was at Craigmillar that he decided to sail to Norway to meet his future queen. In the early 18th century, the Gilmores who owned the castle at the time left the castle for Inch House. It was claimed that two of the laird's daughters continued to live in Craigmillar Castle after the rest of the family had left. Afterwards, Craigmillar Castle formed a romantic feature in the park of the Inch estate. It was ruined in 1775 when the antiquarian and poet John Pinkerton wrote Craigmillar Castle, an elegy. Because of this, the castle became a popular tourist attraction from the late 18th century and was drawn by numerous artists. A proposal to renovate the building for the use of Queen Victoria was put forward in 1842, but nothing came of this. Queen Victoria herself eventually visited the castle in 1886, and much restoration work was undertaken by its then owner, Walter James Little Gilmore. Craigmillar Castle has been in state care since 1946.
Terry, you! Some size of it.
We hope you have enjoyed today's video here at Edinburgh's other castle. Craigmillar Castle is beautifully preserved, and it is a shame it gets overshadowed by Edinburgh Castle, considering how much history is taking place here. If you have enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe for more of Scotland's historical places, and until next time, Alba go bra.